They say secrets never stay buried in Hollywood. And when one powerful man decides to stop playing nice, even a royal fairy tale can fall apart overnight. This isn't about crowns or castles anymore. It's about control, betrayal, and the kind of receipts that can rewrite an entire story. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped away from royal life, the world called it freedom, a brave escape, a modern love story. And in their darkest moment, one man opened his doors, a billionaire filmmaker who offered his mansion, his jet, and his friendship. He was their protector, their Hollywood lifeline. For a while, everything looked picture perfect. Meghan called him her rock. Harry said he was family. Together, they created an image of unity, trust, and gratitude. But Hollywood has a funny way of turning happy endings into headlines. Somewhere along the line, things shifted. Mentions vanished, photos disappeared, and suddenly, the man who once stood proudly beside them was gone from the narrative, almost like he'd been edited out of history. No one said anything publicly, but people noticed. And in the world of fame and image, silence always says more than words. Then came the whispers. Word spread that this friendship may not have been built purely on generosity, that there were agreements, boundaries, maybe even contracts involved. Allegedly, buried deep in one of those documents was a clause that said, if one side ever tried to erase the other, the truth could be revealed to protect reputations. In plain English, if you cut someone out of your story, they have the right to tell theirs.
And that's when things got messy. Suddenly, quiet leaks began surfacing. Snippets of audio, short clips, fragments that made people question everything they thought they knew. It wasn't shouting or scandal, just calm, controlled moments that didn't match the polished image the world had been sold. Fans who once defended the couple started to wonder if what they were seeing was authenticity or acting. Before long, the perfect illusion started to crumble. Interviews that once felt raw now looked rehearsed. Every tear, every pause, every sigh seemed just a little too precise. Even brands began pulling back, choosing silence over association. Partnerships ended quietly. Deals faded away. And through it all, the man who had given them everything stayed silent. No interviews, no statements, just calm, deliberate stillness, the kind that makes everyone else nervous. And then something surfaced. Not a tell-all interview, not a viral clip, but a document. A signed statement that outlined the very strategy behind the royal exit, with timelines, PR plans, and signatures at the bottom. Suddenly, the story everyone thought was spontaneous and emotional looked like something else entirely, a business plan for a brand built on freedom and pain. The internet exploded. Experts called it the death of authenticity. Fans called it betrayal. And through it all, the protector, the man who'd once been erased, didn't say a word. He didn't need to. That single document said everything. Now the balance has shifted. The man who was once seen as a background figure stands taller than ever, respected, quiet, and in control of his own narrative. Meanwhile, the royal rebels who tried to reinvent themselves are left fighting to hold on to theirs. Her new projects aren't landing, his confidence looks shaken, and the sparkle that once sold the dream seems to have dimmed. It's a strange twist of fate. The man they tried to forget has become the one name they can't escape. And as the cameras fade and the noise dies down, one truth lingers. In Hollywood, loyalty has an expiration date, and sometimes the people you think you've written out of your story are the very ones holding the pen, because in the end, it wasn't royalty that rewrote the fairy tale. It was receipts, and those receipts never lie.